All right. Welcome into Toilets to Titles, episode number 67. I am here with my buddies, man, with some guys that it's been quite some time since we've had a little sit down and a little chat. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable in this chair because I'm surrounded by fellas that make me comfortable. And with me, to my right here, if you're watching at home on the YouTubes, is my main man, Justin Stevens at JustinFF_. Justin, how we doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful, man. I haven't been on an actual episode for quite a while, probably 3 weeks or so. I've been doing those breakdowns and everything, but schedule's been tight. A lot of family stuff coming up, or that has popped up. But it feels good to be back in the seat with you guys again and going over the redraft ranks, man, because this is an episode. This is one of my favorite episodes to do these ranks lists. It killed me to have to miss the Dynasty one. So I'm excited to get back on here and talk some ranks.
Yes, and Justin said it. We're doing redraft rankings today. It's the redraft rankings release party. So this is going to be a banger. We're having a party. But Justin, you said you really haven't had time. But the thing is, you're all over our YouTube channel. So you've found some time to get some content out there. If you go to our YouTube channel, and which will be in our show notes or at our Twitter handle at Toilets to Titles, you can find it in there. Justin is all over that. How many teams have you broke down so far?
I believe I'm done with 18 or 19. I have like 11 or 12 to go. Or wait, it'll be 18 after tonight. I've got Will Harris and the one and only Shane Hallam coming on tonight for the Steelers breakdown. After that, I'll have 12 to go. So
Shane, that's my guy, man. And he's coming on at the end of the month to preview the 2021 college football season and to dab a little bit into the 2022 NFL draft class. So, man, that's great.
That's his thing. He's great. Yeah.
Man, great friend of the show. And I do suggest go back and watch his recent episodes. Justin's on there. Carolina Panthers one's a really good episode. There's a bunch of other ones that are pretty solid. And then if you're checking out at home, down under, literally, and I guess figuratively, or no, it's just double literal because you're actually below us on the YouTube channel, and then also below us in real life because you're all the way down there in Australia. So our boy Matt at FF_doormat. Matt, what is cooking?
Man, what isn't cooking is the question. It's all happening. We're in lockdown today, but I was lucky enough to escape lockdown to get a tooth pulled. So that was pretty exciting. But I'm just looking forward to doing some rankings today. I don't play a lot of redraft, but this will sort of be my win now rankings for Dynasty. So looking forward to talking some football.
Man, there's going to be a lot of bathroom board bets this episode. You guys need to talk amongst yourselves and without me, like behind my back, to get some bathroom board bets because I'm all over the damn bathroom board. And at this rate, if I have all these bets, there's no penalty for losing any of them. So I'm just going to win just strictly based upon volume. So you guys need to catch.
That's how I won last year.
strictly based on volume.
We're going to do percentages, I reckon.
Okay.
Win percentage.
Who says?
Me.
Who?
Those are
me.
That's Matt's book.
Yeah. So there are going to be a lot of bathroom board bets. If you're not familiar with bathroom board, that's like our Toilets to Titles. We just bet with each other. You'll kind of get an understanding as you go through. All right. As you hear us discuss it, you'll understand what the bathroom board bet is. It's just a fun thing where we do with each other. And we'll actually do an episode closer to the season where we discuss all our bathroom board bets, who had each side, why they had that side, if their opinions changed. Matt, I do want to touch on you discussing being in lockdown and getting a tooth pulled. I feel like that would be a good poll for Steve to throw up on the Toilets to Titles handle. What would you rather do? Be on lockdown or get your tooth pulled? Because I don't know which one I'd prefer. I hate the dentist, man. The dentist bugs me out. I had in college, I had my maxillary bone broken. I had my mouth wired shut, and I was like going to the dentist like once a week for like a month, and then it broke down. It was even more than like less than that, but just it spread out. If I go to I just can't stand the dentist. The dentist is a big no for me. So I don't know what I would vote for. Probably lockdown, honestly.
Man, that must be bad. If you're voting for lockdown over anything, it must be bad.
Yes.
If I get to miss work for a couple of weeks, give me the lockdown.
Yeah. And my mother-in-law works at a dentist office, so that just adds to it all.
Understandable.
All All right. So everybody, I don't know if I mentioned all this, but you can find me on the Twitter at Coach Sheps. I said, so if you're looking below, there's Matt at FF_doormat. Justin's at JustinFF_. The show is at Toilets and Titles. How you can listen to the show, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on YouTube, we are on Podbean, we are on Spotify. We have 2 Facebook groups. One is our basic Toilets and Titles Facebook group. We'll get that going a little bit more throughout the season. Now that we're going to have a website, we're going to have some articles. That's all coming down the road. That'll be flooding our Facebook page. And then we have another Facebook page called When a Family Breaks. We buy, sell, trade sports cards and memorabilia. Ask us about that. If you're interested, we can get you in that page and you could post your stuff. You can buy other people's stuff. It's all fun on there. I do want to ask, please, if you don't mind, go to our YouTube channel, hit the like button on our latest episodes, hit the subscribe button there. That really helps us out. You know, our numbers have been going up and we greatly appreciate you. I want to say like about a month ago, we were around 200 subscribers and now we're up to about 270. A lot of that has to do with Justin hammering out these team breakdowns. We have Joe doing the Joe Knows series, and this isn't on, well, also on YouTube. We do have the Down Under Dynasty, which I didn't say, but Matt is half of that crew there. Matt and Ben, they're doing their thing with the Down Under Dynasty. So we have tons of content. Like it's almost like we're releasing something every day. So go check out our YouTube page for NFL and fantasy football content. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And then if you have Apple Podcasts, it would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the show, throw us a 5-star review. And if you do throw us a 5-star review, DM it to us on Twitter at Toilets and Titles, like take a screen cap of it. And that's an easy way to get into our Frankenstein League. All right. That is, we have 11 spots left out of 36. Justin just did this crazy giveaway with polls and votes, and it started out with randomization, YouTube videos. You can see all those on our YouTube channel as well. But now one spot's been given away, and you know what? The next, it's $25 to get in, so it gets you in, but it doesn't get you in for free. But if you give us an awesome 5-star review, I'll consider it. So maybe you'll get in for free. Another way to get into Frankenstank is through our Patreon. All right, so we're at patreon.com/Toilets and Titles. Our tier 1, we got to come up with names for these tiers because I listen to some other shows and they have cool names for their tiers. So we're gonna talk behind the scenes, figure some cool names out to make you guys feel cool about joining our Patreon account. But $3 per month gets you into the group chat, which right now is on WhatsApp, but we might be changing that. We'll figure that out as we get a little bit bigger. Tier 2 is $5 per month. It's early access to our waiver wire episodes in season. It's entry into our Frankenstein League, so that gets you one of those 11 spots. And it gets you into the group chat. And then our final tier, our big tier, tier 3 is $10 per month. It gets you one-on-one roster analysis from anybody on the Toilets and Titles team. You tell them, hey, Matt, you're a dynasty guy. I want you to break down my dynasty roster. Matt's like, all right, I got time, man. I'm in lockdown right now. I'll take care of that. So that's how that conversation would go. You also would get free entry into our Frankenstein League, which is, again, $25 value. So tier 2 gets you in. This gets you in for free, okay? Also gets you into the group chat, early access to the waiver wire episodes. Again, Frankenstein's 36 teams, 3 12-team divisions, 3 copies of each player. It's vampire style format with a twist. 11 of 36 spots still remain. That's really it, man. That's it about those things. So now the formalities are done. Rich, what's cooking, man? Rich is out here balling. Who was up before him? Oh, Steve. Uncle Steve, he's balling as well. We're going to be seeing him at the convention. Can't wait for that Fantasy Football Expo coming up. But Rich, Steve, what's cooking? Nice to see you fellas in here. But there's 2 guys that I really want to see that have been waiting in the waiting room for about 10 minutes now. So that's kind of rude of me to be so long-winded. But the first guy is the newest member to Toilets and Titles. Like I said earlier, we're putting a website together. We're going to be writing some articles. We got a guy here who's the first official writer. The first official writer. We've been around for a year. We never had a writer. We got a dude now who we've been chatting with for a while. Justin said, I got a guy. His name's Alex. He knows his stuff. He really vouched for him. He wrote an article. I read it. I really enjoyed it. The rest of the team enjoyed it. And you're like, let's bring him in, man. Let's go into this new season a little bit stronger by bringing in Alex. This is Alex O. Alex, what is cooking?
Nothing much, guys. What is up with you?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here. This is a little new for me, but I think I'm ready to go. I love fantasy football. I've been playing for, gosh, I don't even know how many years now, 5, 6 years. And I think I'm at that point where I can, really do some good out there. So, and I just like talking fantasy football, and all my friends are sick of hearing about it. So it's time to do it officially. So
for what it's worth, the reason that Alex and I connected was actually through Joshua indirectly, because we did a mock draft together, Joshua, that we're about to pull up in a moment. But
that's foreshadowing. I was going to say that's foreshadowing, Justin.
But
you just foreshadowed the next guest that's going to be dropping.
But during the course of that mock draft, I had drafted a player and I talked kind of highly of him. And the first thing that Alex said was, I think I completely disagree. And I don't remember what that was, but it was like our first little interaction. And I thought, you know what? That's really cool, because a lot of times people are just trying to be nice to each other. And I'm kind of looking forward to Alex and his articles being that contrarian that's willing to call us out on our BS whenever he thinks it's BS. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, because he also gave me some perks later on in this first article. But that Ryan Tannehill thing, man, you and I have got to have some kind of a bathroom board bet.
Yes.
It's got to happen today.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we got to get Alex on the bathroom board. So Alex is on the Twitter at AlexO_FF. And I think it's funny because Alex wrote an article, and it was on our rankings, and kind of was contrarian to a lot of people, let you know how Alex felt about some of the decisions people made. It wasn't a fluff piece. It was, he was going after people. And then we set him up with rankings. I think within like 24 hours of the I need to pull up your tweet. Or if you have it, you have access to it.
Yeah, it wasn't even 24 hours. It was like 5 hours of me trying to do it.
Yeah, so he went hard at the rankings, and then a few hours later, we set him up, give him access to start making his own rankings, and it says, God damn, I'm doing rankings for the first time. Parentheses, like officially, where other people are going to see them, end of parentheses. And it is not easy. After all you have done them for so long. So it was very funny, like, to see that. So it's going to come full circle. So now you'll get an opportunity to get bashed. But all right, I think the introduction's done there. Let's bring in our final guest, Joshua, who he's been waiting long enough with that smooth as hell Fusion Fantasy Football logo behind him. That's crispy clean. Joshua is at generally_aware. His website is fusionffb.com, at fusionffb. Joshua, what is cooking? He's on mute. He's still on mute.
Josh, you're muted.
Oh.
Hey guys.
Mute. There you go.
Yeah, I woke up not long ago. My kids woke up. I got my coffee. It's hot outside already. I'm locked in the room with a fan. But that's what you gotta do when you love fantasy football. So let's go.
Lock yourself in the room with the fan, man. Yeah, that logo. I think it just makes our. So if there's a lot of things going on in the background, like if you're watching at home, on the other side, me, Matt, and Alex, we're keeping it kind of simple. We just have our regular backgrounds. And Justin's got, he's got some things going on with his. Joshua's got his logo behind it. So it gets like more techie as you go from right to left. So, Justin, why don't you discuss what you have going on with your wallpaper? And then Joshua, tell us a little bit about your transition with your logo there after that.
So my background's going to change from position to position as we go through this thing. The guy that's going to be on this side every time is our overall number one. When you combine Fusion, the entire Fusion ranks list, and then the one in the middle is the guy that I'm highest on, and then the guy right here on this side will be the guy that I'm the lowest on every time. So just something fun and different.
This is really a reason that you should be watching at home. And then Joshua, tell us how you I don't know if you want to pub whoever worked on your logo or whatever, but that thing is crispy clean. He's muted again.
Just found a freelance. I don't usually use the mute, so it's just because I got kids doing stuff. I found a freelancer and worked with him back and forth many times, figured it out, had a rough idea of what I wanted. But he pulled it off really nice with the football and the Fusion and big lettering right in the middle. It's actually pretty cool. If you go to the website, Fusion FFB, you can see a modified version of it up on the header. And then scroll down and you go to redraft player ranks, and that's where we're going to be looking.
There you go. So that's another transition. FusionFFB.com/redraft player ranks, or just go on there and look for those player ranks. So last week, episode 66, we discussed our dynasty rankings. And this week, it was time to now debut our redraft rankings as we get ready for redraft season. That is right around the corner. Again, those are at FusionFFB.com. Alex, who's the newest member of the team, he actually just worked on his last night. So Alex, was going hammer. Alex, what do you think about your first time doing official rankings? How'd it go for you?
So when I wrote that tweet, I was working on the wide receiver rankings, and I think that's what the wide receiver is so deep this year. I don't feel like it was this deep, in years past, but I got all the way to like rank 38 or 40, and I was still like guys I really like, and I was like, I don't know how to put these guys in any sort of order. When I went back and did the running back and the quarterback rankings, and like tight end was super easy, but when I went back and did like the quarterback and running back, it was a little bit easier. It was easier to get them into order and everything else. So I think it was just the wide receivers that I was really struggling on, just because there's so many of them.
Yes, they're falling off trees this year. If you're a zero running back person this year, you're not going to succeed. That is that is my tweet. Mostly any year you're not going to succeed, but specifically this year, because it's silly to do that when there are wide receivers left and right. All right, so the way we did this last week is the way we'll do it again this week. We're going to list the top 10 at every position. After that, we can go around the table here. We got 5 of us on here. Anybody can point out a player that they think somebody's too high on, too low on, and then we'll move on to the next position group. So Joshua, I'm going to give the floor to you. Let's start with quarterbacks. Why don't you go ahead and read off the consensus top 10 quarterbacks? Well, after you unmute yourself.
Top 10 quarterbacks. All right, so we got over here Patrick Mahomes at 1, of course. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott 5, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers 8, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Ryan Tannehill, and then Jalen Hurts slipping in there at is that right? Oh, see, I think I fixed something after the fact, because I don't know, someone was messing with my quarterback ranks, but they're not right. Like Drew Lock was quarterback 61 or something, so I don't know, one of you guys pulling a prank on me or something.
I didn't do it this time.
So shoot, I thought that was fixed. And
it has you at that has Lock at 61.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I did not do that. I was looking at them, and there was a bunch of ranks that were not like right, including Matthew Stafford at 10 and Tom Brady at 12. That's not supposed to be that way. So
what's up, Joe?
Anyway, after Jalen Hurts, I'm going to list a couple more, because we need to get to Tom Brady at 14. Baker Mayfield and then Tom Brady, because in my updated version, Tom Brady slips up to 12. So,
okay, so he is. So even though some of these, so yours are a little off there, but that's all right. So Stafford's at 9, Herbert's at 6. So we got the young gun all the way up there. Tannehill is at 11. I know there's going to be some discussion there. Jalen Hurts, I think. Did you have Hurts at 9, Justin? I mean, Joshua?
I do, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, no, you do. I just want to make sure that is correct. So
there we go. This is the correct. Let's look at this one right here.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to just drop this one, the website down, and pull yours up.
Oh.
Yeah,
this is our worksheet. So this is 100%
I kind of date running backs and tight ends a little bit this morning too, so this is probably best.
Cool. All right, let's do this. All right, so anybody, I'm going to start Matt. You're not a redraft guy, but this you're thinking as a win now. Do you have any thoughts on the top 12 here?
Look, I've got to call out both Ben and Rich. Love my boys, but Tom Brady at 29 and Rich has got him at 24 and he's got Carr at 13. To me, that just blows my mind. I think to have
was it? Does it blow your mind?
It does. Well, I think this is updated ranking. So Benny slipped him up to 14. He was at 29 before, so that's a bit more respectful. But yeah, look, I think with another year in that offense, and they've brought everyone back. I can't see how Brady's not a QB1.
So I just, when I was saying does that, I just meant, are you surprised that Rich did that?
Yeah. No, look, I'm not surprised about Mr. Carr.
All right, Justin, what are your thoughts on these rankings here, man?
I mean, I don't know. I really love him. I am a little bit surprised about Joshua's high ranking of Jalen Hurts. Obviously, he's utilizing the Konami code there with a little bit of his rushing ability. I just worry about the tools that he has there in Philadelphia and that not so great offensive line.
But if you look at Hurts, if you look at the rankings here, now that Alex, did them as well, Josh has him at 9. Alex has him at 10, and Matt has him at 11. So there's a cluster there of 3 people who think he's going to be pretty high. And then I have him at 14. So, that the average there, and then it takes a big jump after 14. It goes all the way 18. 2 guys have him at 20, and 1 guy has him at 22. So it seems like some of us are on the high end, some of us are on the low end, and there's a gap in between. So he's a player who's very interesting.
Pretty polarizing.
Yeah, very polarizing.
So anyway, any of you guys, if you feel strongly about a player that you're high or low on, this is the time to say, throw it on the bathroom board. I'm just going to put that out there. I love that Stafford is the expectations are high on him. We're all pretty close on him as well. We have Ben's the highest on Stafford at 8. Nate has him at 10. Justin has him at 10. And then 3 of us have him at 12, and then 1 at 13. Rich has him at 11. So we're all pretty high on Matthew Stafford. Now, Joshua, what are your thoughts on the top 12 quarterbacks here?
I've found it interesting that we're pretty close on a lot of the top 8. I think there was a little bit of disagreement on Justin Herbert. I don't think he's gonna repeat quite the first half of last season. I think it's gonna be a lot more of a blend of what we saw in the second half. And then Jalen Hurts, you're right. It's just no matter. He doesn't actually have to be good, and the offensive line doesn't have to actually be good for him to run out of the pocket. So that's it.
Now, and I'm going to go out of the well, Alex, first you tell us about your top 12, what you think of the top 12, and then I'm going to take a step a little bit further down the line here.
Yeah, so this is one where it's so close for me, like at the top there, that I have Justin Herbert at 11, and I didn't think I'd be the lowest guy on him, but it's just kind of where he fit in with all the upside that's above him, like Jalen Hurts with the Konami code, with the running. I feel like the running is going to outweigh what Justin Herbert can do through the air. I mean, it's only 1 rank difference, but that's it. Just, I was trying to move Justin Herbert up and up, but I just couldn't get him in any higher there. But like Lamar Jackson, I have him at 1 because he's the ultimate Konami code. Like, it's a running back for your quarterback position, plus the throwing. I think the passing is going to come up this year. They added a lot of pieces to the offense to help bring those numbers up, because the first half of the season, it was kind of wishy-washy with the passing. He was still getting some rushing, but it wasn't, Lamar Jackson of, 2 years ago. But then the second half of the year, he took off and was just killing it. So I think we're going to see a return to number 1 overall Lamar Jackson, and he's going to take over everybody else. But it's really close there at the top. It's splitting hairs between him and Mahomes and Kyler and Josh Allen. Like, there's not much you can do there.
Justin, you were looked like you wanted to chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I said I was going to bring the bathroom board bets, and of course I'm going to call out Alex right off the bat because of my Tannehill love, but or lack of love in Dynasty, I should say. But I'm actually going to switch gears here. This Justin Herbert thing. You said you tried to bring him up and up and up. You just couldn't find a way to bring him up enough. I'm going to lay down the bet. Just one spot up was Jalen Hurts. at 10. You couldn't even put him in the top 10 for Jalen Hurts there. So my bathroom board bet is that for redraft purposes for this season, Justin Herbert's going to outscore Jalen Hurts.
Do you accept, Alex?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna throw this on the board. Let's do it. Justin, I got a bathroom board bet for you.
Oh, I see it.
What are you gonna say? What's it gonna be?
Well, I see you highlighted Baker Mayfield.
That wasn't me. That was Joshua.
Oh, right on.
My bathroom board bet. So I want to talk about some averages down here. Justin, or one of you guys, can you go to the private chat and put that bathroom board bet in there so I don't forget?
Gotcha.
Put on who's on each side. So I want to look at the averages here. There's some that are interesting. Tua, we have Matt at 14. The next closest person is 17, but he's averaged at 20. Then you look at Derek Carr. He averages out at 21. Rich has him at 13. You look at Sam Darnold. He averages out at 22. Nate has him at 14. But then you look at Zach Wilson. He averages out at 22. I have him at 10. The next closest person has him at 19. So I'm pretty significantly high. I like the Konami code there. I like the weapons he's got there. I like the running back he's got there. Michael Carter, I think he's going to be dumping off to him. So I think Zach Wilson's going to have a solid season there. I definitely think he's going to finish top 15. I don't think he's going to finish outside the top 15. But, Justin, you have Zach Wilson at 28 and you have Carson Wentz at 11. I'll say that Zach Wilson outscores Carson Wentz this season.
Done. I'll take Wentz all day.
All right. Anybody else want to if Rich was here, I would say I'd take him over Derek Carr. If Matt Matt, you are here. I'll take Zach Wilson over Tua.
I was going to say Lawrence, but I'll take Tua. That's fine. And
I'll do Lawrence. No, I'll do Lawrence.
Let's do Lawrence, and I've got one
all
for
right,
Rich
so
too.
Throw him in the private chat there. All right. So does anybody else? What do you guys think about Sam Darnold? There was a big discussion on the Panthers episode between the guys and Carolina Chris talking about Sam Darnold. What do you guys think? It seems like one of us is really high on Darnold, has him at 14. The rest of us have him in QB2 range. Anyone have any thoughts on Sam Darnold?
Hey, that last bet was T-Law and who?
Zach Wilson.
Okay.
Any Darnold opinions?
Yeah, I mean, I like Darnold. I like him for that offense. I think that he's a lot better than what we saw in New York. So that's why I have him ranked probably a little bit higher than some, I would imagine. I didn't really look at everybody's ranks here. But yeah, I like Darnold.
The highest on Darnold is Nate. Nate has him at 14. You have him at 19. So you still have him at QB2 range. So, but Nate has him. He's on the cusp of QB1. All right, this is enough quarterback discussion. Let's move this on to running back. So change the slide here. And then, Joshua, go ahead once you've changed the slide and read us your top. Why don't you read the top?
I can read it.
Read it.
Joshua's wanting some time off from reading here. So we got Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, and Saquon are our top three. The next tier there is going to be Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, of course, Jonathan Taylor. And then after that, to round out the top 10, we got Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Zeke Elliott, and Joe Mixon.
All right. So after that, we got Gibson, Eckler, Akers, Swift, Jacobs. So there's like clusters of running backs this year. It goes on. Najee, Dobbins, Montgomery. I think that's where kind of the top few tiers end, right after our running back 17, David Montgomery, or is he 18? I'm not sure. All right, so let's go down the line here. Let's see what you guys think about the top tiers of running backs. Matt, I started with you last time. I feel like starting with you again. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I sort of moved this one around quite a lot. I did see Zeke's workout video. He was looking pretty slim. So maybe I've got to bump him up a couple of spots. But yeah, pretty happy with how my top 12 sits after that. It's a bit of a teardrop after Carson, I think. But I think top 12 is pretty set. Pretty happy with that. What about
you, Justin? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I think we're a bit high on Eckler. I think we've got Eckler at 9. And I saw a stat where he had like 2 goal line carries last year. So obviously that's not his thing, but yeah, I might have to move him down a little bit.
Yeah, but
go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's got so much PPR upside though, like 80 catch upside. I love Eckler. He could really dominate this year if he can stay healthy. That was a freak injury last year, tearing his hamstring off his bone, but he could really.
I think it's because
I have him. Yeah. I have him at 8, so I even have him one higher than you.
Yeah, I think he's still an RB1, but a little bit shaky on the Eckler ranking.
Man, Nate has him at 28.
Wow.
Nate's not buying Austin Eckler. He's selling, clearly. I have him at 15, and I almost feel like I'm a little too low on him because when he does play, he puts up big numbers, and they're going to be playing in a lot of high-scoring games, and that's fine for a running back like him because he's going to be the check down guy, and if he can get 6 or 7 receptions in a game for about 50, 60 yards, that right there is 12 points. That's his floor. So, I like Austin Eckler. What do you guys think about Antonio Gibson going into this season? The highest is Matt has him at 8. Josh is the lowest on him at 17, but we're all within there, 9, 10, 12. So most of us are pretty close. Then there's two polar opposites. Does anyone have any thoughts on Antonio Gibson heading into the season?
I'm not sure how to feel about Antonio Gibson because he had so many touchdowns last year. Like you feel like that's gonna regress a little bit, come back down, but he should get more opportunity because he did great with the opportunity that he got. So I think with getting rid of Alex Smith and getting Fitzpatrick in there, someone who's able to move the ball, they can, switch that up and open up the run game a little bit more for him. I think he's going to do well. I have very high expectations for Gibson, and I hope I'm right because I have him in a couple spots that I could really use him, having an RB1 season again.
Right on. All right. Another player, Joe Mixon. Matt, you have Mixon at 7. Alex has him at 7. Ben has him at 7. Matt, sell me on Joe Mixon going into this year.
Yeah, look, I think he's just been unlucky. Like we're just waiting for him to deliver. I think this is his year. I think that offense is absolutely stacked, and I just love his talent. I love his upside. I'm just praying for a healthy season. If he's healthy, 7 could be too low. I mean, he could be higher than that. He could be top 5 if he stays healthy all year. So he's still young, and I really rate Mixon.
I do want to say, so I have, I think, so the three running backs going into the second year who I have, in my mind pretty closely, right? It's Swift, it's Akers, it's Dobbins. Those 3 guys I have. So if you look at Swift, I have Swift all the way up at 10, and then I have Dobbins at 16, and I have Akers at 14. But in my mind, the way that works is I feel like one of those 3 is going to finish at 10, one is going to finish at 14, one is going to finish at 16. I don't know which one it's going to be. I honestly, I'm not comfortable. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted out this week. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of shares of either of those guys unless it's great value. And it's not because I don't think they're great players. I think all 3 of them are very good ball players. I just don't know what we're going to get out of their offenses this year. With the Rams, Stafford, I don't know what that offense is going to look like. With the Ravens, Lamar's going to be running. He should have a bounce back year. Not that he had a bad year last year, but like Alex was saying, I think he's going to be a little more dominant this season. They re-upped Gus Edwards. Maybe we see a little bit from Justice Hill. And then with Swift, they got a new head coach. They got a new quarterback. I just don't know what we're going to get from those 3 guys. I do think one of them does very well. There's a chance 2 of them do very well, but I don't know enough. I want to get more of a sure thing. You know what I mean? Like I'll bank on. I have Zeke at 8. Matt, I think you're pretty high on. Who else is? No, it's Rich. Rich has him at 3. Alex has him at 5. I have him at 8. I'd much more rather get a guy like Zeke if I can, if he falls, because we might see some of these younger guys go a little higher on Zeke because I think Zeke has kind of been cast out a little bit, and that might be some good value. I'd much rather get a guy like him than one of those 3 guys that I don't know what we're going to get. Joshua, you have any thoughts on these top running back rankings?
Well, you were just talking about Cam Akers and DeAndre Swift and Dobbins too, but those are two guys I actually just was recently talking about on a podcast and digging into a little bit. And I have them Swift at 12 and Akers at 13. So it doesn't seem like much of a difference. And because it's not really that much of a difference talent wise, but looking into their situations, there was a couple things that popped out to me. People seem to be jumping on Akers bandwagon, expecting high volume, but there's not a lot of evidence when you really go through the timeline last year of how that played out. People keep saying Akers took over that job. No, Henderson got hurt. They never were healthy at the same time. The coaches never made that decision to give Akers all the work over a healthy Henderson. And then Akers got hurt. So it kind of went back and forth. I'm fine with saying that they want to make him the workload back. That's why he was my running back 3 as a rookie. But it seems a little bit far to then put him ahead of Swift just because of these coaching concerns. And when you look at the fuller picture on the coaches, Anthony Flynn, and Dan Campbell, they like using their running backs. And I mean, Eckler and Melvin Gordon did just fine with Anthony Lynn. So I don't quite get the hesitation, because even if they split it up between, let's say, Jamal Williams and Swift, that just means they're both doing well. It's not going to be a bad thing for Swift. Swift is looking at like 75 target pace just last year. So he can easily do that, if not more again. Plus just I mean, 10 carries a week. He's going to hit easily numbers that'll get him inside the top 12 if he just has anywhere close to pace as he had last year. And I mean, some people seem to be concerned about the health thing, but again, Akers got hurt twice last year too. So between the two of them, I just don't understand being able to have Akers as high as Swift, when, at least in PPR, of course. So Swift literally in his range of outcomes has like running back 6.
All right. And now also we look at the rankings. I have Jonathan Taylor at 1, and Nate has Nick Chubb at 1. So those guys, and then no one else, I think. So Nate has Taylor at 2, and then after that, it's Matt has him at 5, Rich has him at 6. He goes as low as 13 with Alex. And then Chubb, on the other hand, the next closest guy, so Nate has him at 1, I have him at 4, Ben has him at 6, but then he goes as low as 11 with Alex and Matt. Does anybody have any thoughts on those two? Well, I guess I'll speak with Taylor. Well, Justin, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I was going to kind of talk on Taylor a little bit.
That's it. I want to hear from you.
If it was pure talent alone and that sort of thing, then yeah, Taylor would be much higher. But I have to consider the team that he's on, and I consider Marlon Mack as a 1,000-yard rusher coming back from injury. I don't think obviously he's going to be 1,000 yards again with Taylor there, but he is going to be utilized. They're going to try to save Taylor more for the end of the season in the playoffs, which kind of hurts your fantasy team. And then you have Nyheim Hines, who's a perfectly capable third down back. Not that Taylor isn't, but he's an amazing third down back. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's really super fast. They're going to utilize him a lot. So I just think that it cuts into a lot of their opportunities. And honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I'm starting to think that maybe my 6th rank here might even be just a little too high. I might even drop him down to 7 or 8. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Jonathan Taylor. But before I get off here, I do got to say, back to the board bets again, and I've got one for you, Joshua, because in my mind, Najee Harris is going to get a lot more of the workload from Robinson. And I know that in the past you've been a bit of a Robinson stan, especially last season. You were pretty big on him. Am I right?
Yeah, I liked him a lot of ways. You mean ETN, or are we going Harris?
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Where's ETN at?
Down here.
Yeah, so I had him at 21. You have him at 29. And then if you look up David Montgomery there, I have him at 24, and you have him at 14. So that's kind of my bet there. I'm thinking ETN over David Montgomery.
Monty's gonna.
I guess that whole range, like from Gibson, like we brought up Gibson earlier. My 17 seems low there, but anywhere from I'd say like Mixon to Gibson, like there's 8 players there. That's like a tier of whatever.
If he doesn't want it, I'll take it.
I was gonna actually. I thought you were gonna go with just Robinson versus ETN, but James Robinson versus ETN. Who's gonna score more? I thought that's where you're gonna go.
Do it.
Okay, yeah, I can do that as well because I feel like ETN will take away some of that goal line look, and he'll be the third down back, and he's going to play a lot of slot receiver too. So yeah, I'll take ETN for sure. So we'll do that one. I'll take ETN. You take Robinson.
Yeah, if you wanted to take an ETN, I would have taken ETN because James Robinson is dead.
Hey, everybody, bring on the Monty hate. I will take all the bathroom board bets. You know where to find me. You know where to find me. I feel like Jon Snow in front of the Battle of the Bastard Sons. I will stand there. I'll fight everybody for David Montgomery. Just we don't have enough time to talk about all the bathroom board bets we could do with David Montgomery. Just line them up, whatever. Put them on the board. I'll take it. But Justin, I'm going to tell you why you're too low on Jonathan Taylor. Okay? Carson Wentz is a mental case. He's a good quarterback. He's a mental case. You want to help that guy. You want to make him feel confident. You win games. They're going to win games early on by running the football, pounding the rock, all right? Play action pass, pound the rock. Play action pass, play good defense. I see Drew Brees at the end of his career being helped by a solid ground game, by Latavius Murray, by Alvin Kamara. I think the Colts can look very similar to that. I think that Jonathan Taylor is still going to be the 1A, and I think he's going to do good enough, all right, that I think you are too low on him. I think they're going to just ride him, man, for the sake of helping Carson Wentz, helping boost his confidence, and to help carry them into the playoffs. So this year is going to be a monster year for Jonathan Taylor. And I don't think Marlon Mack and Nyheim Hines make it out of the season healthy. I think you're going to see about 8 games from Mack. I think you'll see about 8 games from Nyheim Hines. That's just what history kind of tells me is going to happen between those guys. And I think Jonathan Taylor, he's shown he can handle a full workload, and I think he gets one this season.
Don't pull that voodoo on my Colts. Hey, I love those question marks right there that Joshua put up. That's a great point right there.
I need to see an Alex Justin bet here involving Clyde here.
Yeah, we need to talk about this Clyde Edwards-Helaire love. Dude,
hates rather.
Yeah, it's definitely hate. The dude sucks.
No.
In the NFL, he sucks. He didn't do squat. He was horrible at the goal line. Like I didn't like the guy at all. When I'm watching,
give the listener context, please. Where people aren't just watching.
Oh
Justin
man,
has him at 39.
Yeah,
okay? Alex has him at 9.
Yeah.
So and Matt has him at 10. Ben has him at 11. Nate has him at 15. So it's and then it drops. But those are the biggest difference. So if you're listening at home, this is what we're discussing. Justin has him at 39. Alex has him at 9. Go ahead.
Now, realistically, yeah, sure. The guy, just because of opportunity, is probably going to finish somewhere around 24 to 30. But I don't see the consistency. I don't see him getting touchdowns. And that's enough for me to not want him on my fantasy team from week to week. So I probably underrated him just so I could avoid having him on my roster. So yeah. So let's see who did I rank high that you're pretty low on.
Well, Alex, defend while Justin looks this out. Alex, defend Clyde Edwards-Helaire, please.
All right, I will. I got this one already. I figured I'd be the highest on him. Clyde. So Justin, who else are they gonna run then? Because they didn't do anything in the offseason to bolster that running back room. Darwin Thompson. He might not even make the roster.
Darrell Williams. I don't care. Somebody different.
But so they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to bolster the running back room last year or this offseason. And he got 217 touches in 14 games. So the opportunity is not going to go away because they didn't do anything else. So he's primed. They're telling us that they want to give him the job and give it to him again to see what he can do. And he only had 5. He had 5 touchdowns with 217 touches. That's a 2% touchdown rate. Yeah, what did you only watch the first game where he got stuffed at the goal line a couple times? Because
I mean, throughout the course of the season, he just was not getting into the end zone.
well, that's because they weren't trying to get him in the when they get in the end zone, they were throwing it to Travis Kelce.
Why would you try to get into the end zone with a guy that can't get into the end zone?
Why would you try to get in the end zone with an offensive line that's getting pushed back 2 yards as soon as the ball gets snapped? That offensive line was bad last year, and they did a lot to revamp that. They got Tardif's coming back. I forget the other guys that they got Orlando Brown from the Ravens. They got was it Cooney, the guard, or was that the Chargers? I forget who it was, but they did
Cooney center.
Yeah. So they did a lot to redo that offensive line, and I just think he's going to have all the opportunity in the world. And once they get him involved in the passing game a little bit more, they just in the middle of the season, they just got away from the running game whatsoever because they were trying to run Le'Veon Bell, and that wasn't working because Le'Veon Bell was cooked. So I don't know. I don't see a way that he finishes outside the top 10 just on opportunity.
That was Andy Reid's fault that Le'Veon Bell didn't do well.
Why was it Andy Reid's fault?
No one laughed at that.
No.
that was. I really thought that one was going to hit.
According to Le'Veon, it was
I thought that one was going to do numbers. Like if we were live streaming on whatever that what is that thing called where people can hit hearts and they float up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was going to be one where I was going to get lots of hearts and thumbs up, and I got 0. So I'm just going to move on. I've looked at some of your guys' rankings, and I'm going to give you 3 bathroom board bets that you guys could do, and you guys pick which one you prefer. I think based upon your rankings, you could do one where Justin takes Chris Carson, and Alex takes Edwards-Helaire. You could do one where Justin takes Jonathan Taylor, Alex takes Edwards-Helaire, or you could do one where Justin takes Akers and Alex takes Edwards-Helaire. So Justin, which one are you comfortable with? And you propose it to Alex here.
Well, sorry, I was actually looking at Player Profiler because I want to rebut a little bit here.
Okay, go ahead.
So true yards per carry, he sucked. Okay, yards per touch, he sucked. Breakaway runs, he sucked.
What is sucking? What is sucking? Tell us.
This is 24th or worse in the league, and all of these, most of them worse than that. So juke rate, 26th in the league. I mean, his efficiency rate, his expected points, 154th. Like, just really bad. Run blocking, only number 45 in the league at run blocking. I mean, and granted, like you said, the offensive line sucked. He had to pick it up and do a lot more in the run blocking than a lot of running backs maybe, but obviously he didn't do well with that opportunity to run block. I see early on they're not going to want him on the field and they're going to go sign somebody else. But yes, I am definitely willing to take a bet here. So what were those options?
So one was Taylor versus Edwards-Helaire, one was Chris Carson versus Edwards-Helaire, and one was Cam Akers versus Edwards-Helaire. Now the Jonathan Taylor one, Alex has Taylor at 13, and he has Edwards-Helaire at 9. You have Taylor at 6.
I think you should let Alex decide because I will take all 3 of those over Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Let's do Cam.
All right.
Okay. I do want to state that I think Edwards-Helaire is okay. And I think he's going to be a running back too, which is fine. Now
he finished as 19 overall last year. Like it wasn't terrible last year. He was still an RB2. So I think he takes a step up. I'm with you. I got him at 10. I think he's going to improve.
Yeah, and he also missed 3 games with injury. It was like a sprained ankle or something. So that was him finishing with 0 points in 3 different weeks. So
Joshua, you looked like you were going to say something.
Well, I was going to say you have to be careful. I notice this a lot. I love playerprofiler.com. I use it a lot myself. I'll reference it myself. One thing you do have to be careful of when using their efficiency stats, like Justin was just citing, is they in no way are accounting for or binning or giving any context for volume. And so there's a lot of players that have really low volume with those high efficiency numbers that are really throwing off those ranking numbers. So you need to make sure you pull up and compare it to another player you think is good to actually get a better sense. I mean, I've had people try and use it to tell me, James, we were talking earlier, James Robinson is bad, and they used it saying he was 66th in I can't remember, efficiency or something, fantasy points per opportunity, right? Well, they liked Zeke, so I pulled up Zeke, and he was 108. So, I mean, it's just, you have to be careful when using those things.
Yeah, but Joshua, you also have to understand that Alex was coming with some heat and some really strong points, and I felt like my back was against the wall, and I got desperate.
I feel like this would be an instance where are you guys familiar with the And One mixtapes of like the early 2000s, late 90s, and there was the guy named the Professor. All right,
he's still doing stuff.
This is a time where I wish I had a board. I'm going to get one. I'm going to get a board. I'm going to start doing sound drops. It's going to happen. Because when Joshua came in there with that stuff, I would have hit a drop that said, "The Professor," because that was just knowledge that our listeners need to know about that website. You know, how do we use the website? Joshua just told us, you know, be careful, man. Do it this way. But we spent a lot of time on running backs, and there's a shit ton. I don't curse a lot on this show, but I had to describe how many wide receivers there are out there, and there's a lot. So we need to move on to wide receivers, gentlemen. Let's head over to that tab. This time I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to read the top ones here. We got Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, Calvin Ridley, Michael Thomas, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Allen Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, and then I'll even throw in Chris Godwin. That's our top 16. So, fellas.
Board bet.
What's that?
Board bet.
Go ahead.
I want Justin Jefferson. You can have CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. I think we have that already, man.
Oh, okay, well,
that was the first. That's the first board bet on the bathroom board this season.
Oh, okay.
That just shows you though that we're consistent. We probably put that on the board 2 or 3 months ago, and we still feel that way.
Yep.
So that's good. So that's an easy board bet. But I do want to say, look at Stephon Diggs. You know what a climb. You know, last year I think probably he was around wide receiver 12, maybe around there, and now he's our wide receiver 3. So that Josh Allen boost has been huge, and that production has been huge. And then A.J. Brown, Hopkins is still there. It's interesting to me that Calvin Ridley surpassed Michael Thomas. You know, that just goes to show you there's so much uncertainty there in New Orleans. But I also think there's uncertainty in Atlanta. With I know Ridley produced with Julio gone, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher on him this season. So anyone have any thoughts on these top 16 wide receivers that they'd like to get out there?
Does that say number 5 next to DJ Moore for Nate?
I was literally just looking at that.
Holy cow, bro.
Yeah, I don't know where he's getting that from.
You must have listened to your Panthers episode.
Yeah, that's true. We did talk highly of them, but I don't know if
you guys sure did.
And so Carolina Chris was a bit of a fan of him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nate, we're gonna have a bathroom board bet there between him and Chris Godwin. He has number 6. Wow,
Alex, if you want to leave him a nasty voicemail, I've got his number.
No. I like DJ Moore. I just don't think he has enough opportunity to hit 5.
What do you guys think about Allen Robinson? I know, I think he's a little polarizing. Alex, go ahead.
I love Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is a stud in the NFL, and now he's going to be coming into this season with probably now this is a little spoiler for my article, but he's coming into the season with his probably best quarterback that he's ever played with before, whether it's Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. I think it's going to be Justin Fields, but he garners 150 targets almost every year. He contested catch master, and he just eats up that volume. Like he has some weeks where it's 3 for 36, but those are few and far between. But he comes and he delivers week in, week out, steady, but lower end wide receiver 1, but he's cranks out those fantasy points for you.
So you think he's going to be producing this season? I like that. Joshua, you have Michael Thomas all the way up there at 5. Alex has him at you have him at 4. Alex has him at 5. Rich at 7, and then it drops. Ben at 9. I have him at 11. Justin has him at 10. So you guys have him top 5. Joshua, go to bat for Michael Thomas.
Why do I have to go to bat for? What did he do? Like it ain't
him. It's one of those relationship things, man. It's not him. It's Taysom Hill and Jameis.
No. Well, that's false then, because we've seen him be a top 3 wide receiver with Teddy freaking Bridgewater throwing him the ball, and you're telling me
I
he has
didn't
the
know Taysom Hill changed his name.
Excuse me. He has the opportunity. Even if you look at the games he had with Taysom Hill, he was still a top 12 wide receiver.
I have to look at that.
And he has the opportunity to begin passes from Jameis Winston instead. This guy is getting 43% of the air yards on his team. This is ridiculous. He was injured last year, guys. Get over it. Put your feelings aside. Get over it. He was injured. That's why he was bad last year. It had nothing to do with the quarterback changes. If anything, Breeze has been holding him back as Breeze was declining and could not get the air yards. I would love to see Michael Thomas with someone who can throw him the ball like Jameis Winston. And even if it is Taysom Hill, I don't care because, like I said, Taysom Hill did show the ability and he was throwing the ball to an injured Michael Thomas, and still Michael Thomas was all right at that time.
If I've learned anything from Joshua in our Fusion chat over this last week, it's that situation changes mean nothing to him. He doesn't care that the situation has changed in New Orleans. It's only talent that he has seen. So this is true to form for him. So I can definitely see his ranking here for Joshua.
Now,
but again, if a conservative guy like Teddy Bridgewater can make him still a top wide receiver, I don't understand why we're worried about
what he
even
does
Taysom Hill.
what he does is so conducive to a conservative environment. He runs slants, post, comebacks. That's that's perfect for a quarterback who's trying to be conservative. That's not the entire route tree. I'm not saying he can't run the route tree, but what he's done well at are those routes. And that's perfect for a guy like Teddy Bridgewater. I know where you're going to be. I know when you're going to be there. It's going to be right in the window of the defense where I can get the ball in there. It just seems to me like that fits well. Jameis Winston is not conservative. He's not. Taysom Hill is going to run the ball. So I just need to see. I love Michael Thomas. 2 years ago, I'm beating the drum. It was easy to beat the drum because he was producing. So I guess, that's on me. But I'm beating the drum for Michael Thomas, and now I just need to see it because I don't know if his play style fits with the play style of a guy like Jameis Winston who wants to chuck. And that Michael Thomas is more like precision,
But John,
go back and look at early Michael Thomas when he was a rookie and how he was playing. He was not just the slant boy, okay? When Breeze had an arm still. So I think those things were tailored around Breeze and the offense. He can be way more. Again, 43% air yards. Someone else is talking. Sorry.
We need to do a bathroom board. I'm not a bathroom board. I'm sorry. We need to do a what do they call it? I don't even know. Bathroom break. Michael Thomas film breakdown. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll look and see if we believe. But Alex, go ahead.
Josh brought up the point that he's not just he was in those specific routes because Breeze's arm was turning into a noodle. So they had to have a more conservative approach to it. But also, even if it is Jameis Winston who is, wild out there, who else is he going to throw to? Traquan Smith? That never worked out. Deontay Harris?
But maybe Traquan Smith never worked out because Drew Brees is a noodle arm.
Or maybe because Traquan Smith isn't that good.
But if we can play the or game, then my or is just as valid as your or.
No, I agree. I got you, but I'm just he garners so many touches or receptions, targets. That's the word I was looking for. Targets that I think on volume alone, even if Taysom Hill's there, who's running the ball, I don't think they're gonna just run him constantly. He's gonna have target numbers that help him get to where he needs to be to get up into that top 5.
Not for nothing. I don't want to watch a football game with Taysom Hill quarterback.
Neither do I.
It bores the hell out of me. I almost dropped the curse for the second time on this episode. Get Taysom Hill out of here. Get, Sean Payton, grow up. All right. We got some other go ahead, Justin.
I've got a board bet here for Matt. So Matt, your number 19, Matt, is Deontay Johnson, and I'm clearly the lowest on Deontay Johnson at 31. My number 19 is Mike Evans, and I'm clearly clearly the lowest on Mike Evans as well. But but in my mind, there is absolutely no way that Deontay Johnson even outscores Mike Davis or Mike Evans. You have Mike Evans at 11, right? Okay, so you're 11. Okay.
You got confused by the spreadsheet. He's lower. He's lower. He's got 11. Mike Evans at 11 and Johnson at 19.
Right. Yeah, I got confused. I missed something else here. Where's my number 11? Oh, Terry McLaurin. That's what I was thinking. Terry McLaurin is my 11. So I was going to go my 11 versus your 11.
McLaurin versus Evans, Matt.
Because I'm really low on Evans.
Yeah. Look, I think it's close. I think it's a coin flip, but let's put it on the board. I did want to talk about your hate for Cowboys wide receivers, Justin. Not sure what you and Rich have against the Cowboys, but Rich, I think, has CD at 23 and Amari at 27. So there's a couple of bets there for sure for Rich. And also, I think I want to see how high Rich is on the Raiders wide receivers because he's got his boy.
Do you need
Carr. He's got his boy Carr at a QB1, so I just want to see how high they are, how he's getting a QB1 without any wide receivers.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely too low on the wide receivers. But here's my thing about redraft though. With redraft, you can't like just take a stud and stash them and wait for them to be good. Like I know that these guys are going to be decent. I'm just not willing to commit to know which one it's going to be and which one it's not going to be. So with all that confusion out there, I'm just going to kind of lay low on those wide receivers. I'm also really big on Blake Jarwin, guys. We all know this. He's healthy, he's back, and he's going to get that underneath work. So I'm targeting Blake Jarwin in a lot of redrafts for that reason. And I really don't want to have to force myself to not take Blake Jarwin just because I ended up with Amari Cooper. So that's all a part of my rankings there.
Justin, I think your take on the Cowboys wide receivers is very similar to my take on Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift, and J.K. Dobbins. In a similar way, just that you feel like one of them is going to ball, but you're afraid of choosing the wrong one.
Right, and if I'm going to choose one, it's going to be CeeDee Lamb just because second year in the offense with Dak. I mean, he's just going to pick it up. So that's where I'm at.
I want to say I want to scroll down to Courtland Sutton, Brandon Ayuk, and Laviska Shenault. I think those are three guys that could I think I'm the highest on Shenault at 20. And then Nate has him at 20 as well. I think Sutton, Ayuk, and Shenault, I would take a bathroom board bet that so they average, Shenault's are 31st, Ayuk's are 24th, and Sutton's are 20th. The highest person on Sutton is Matt with 15. I respect the hell out of that. Thank you, Matt. The highest on Ayuk is Nate, 19. Love that. The highest on Shenault is me and Nate at 20. So I would take a bathroom board bet that one of those three finish top 15 in PPR this season. I think there's a good chance one of those three finish top 15. Anyone want to go against that?
I'll take that for sure.
Throw it on there. All right. So you think none of those – do any of you have any thoughts on whether that could happen? Because I think there's a chance – I love Judy, but Sutton coming back from injury, he could be the one there. Ayuk with Lance, he looked awesome. I think he's the one there. I think if he stays healthy and has he could put a pretty monster stat line together. And then Shenault, I think he's the wide receiver one in Jacksonville. I think he's a freak. So those are three guys that are just physical specimens. So anyone have any thoughts on those three?
I love Sutton. I think he's going to come back and return to alpha form. Now, depends on who the quarterback's going to be. I think if Drew Lock's the quarterback, Sutton is going to eat because Lock's just going to chuck the ball down and
Agreed.
Sutton's going to go up and grab it and pull it back down. If it's Teddy, it might be a little bit more Jerry Jeudy, a little bit more split. But I think Sutton's going to come back from this ACL and just eat. He had a monster beginning of the season last year before he got hurt. It was only a game or 2 games, whatever it was. But the year before that, he was emerging and getting ready for that breakout season, and I think that'll come this year.
Now, do you guys think we're too low on Jamar Chase? We have him 25th. Rich is the highest on him at 19. Matt has him at 21. I have him at 21. And then Ben 26, Justin 28, Josh 29, Alex has him at 32. Nate has him at 30. Does anybody think we could be too low on Jamar Chase, or do you all feel like that's right about where he should be?
I absolutely think I'm too low on Jamar Chase. I realized while I was doing the rankings, this is where the wide receivers came in, and I found it so hard to put them in order. But I got to him on the sheet, and I was like, oh, I don't even have Jamar Chase in here. And I had to try to squeeze him in, you know, where I could fit him in with everybody else. But I definitely think I could be way too low on Jamar Chase.
Feel that. All right.
About right.
You think it's about right?
I'm pretty confident in that one.
Now, Justin, you have Julio Jones at 9. I have him at 17. So I think we should have a bathroom board bet there. I already have Lamb. Can you scroll up a little bit? I want to see what receivers we might have high. That
I just tried to scroll. It's not even mine.
Man.
Oh, I was actually going to say I got a bathroom bet for Justin.
Go ahead, Alex. Throw it out there.
There you go.
Let's do Amari Cooper and Julio, because you got Julio at 9. I got Amari Cooper at 11. I think Amari Cooper is going to shatter Julio Jones this year.
I'm putting it on the board.
Boom.
And I don't need to do that. And then what about Nat and Josh? Let's see. How do you guys have CeeDee Lamb ranked here? Just trying to find him. All right. So Matt has CeeDee Lamb at 7. Josh has him at 20. So I think you two need to figure out a bathroom board bet to throw on there.
Now, I was thinking about Chris Godwin down there. I have him at 17, so not far behind, not far ahead of Lamb at my 20, but you have Chris Godwin as your 20.
So what's the bet?
I think Godwin outscores CeeDee Lamb.
Right up. Let's do it.
Ooh.
Right up.
That's spicy.
That is a spicy one, gentlemen. All right, I think we need to move on to tight ends. We're already an hour and 6. So we got 10 minutes to crush tight ends. I think we can get it done. What do you guys think? Thumbs up across the board?
Yeah.
Tight ends? Thumbs up.
This is what I hate about these ranks. The tight end is one of my favorite positions of all time. Like, I love the tight end position, and we never have time to actually go through them. Next year, we're going to start with tight ends.
That's it. That's the proclamation right now. We can also, that's bathroom breaks, man. We can get deeper into tight ends. Not that you have time for those right now, but
I'm also realizing that I wasted a lot of time with my different backgrounds for these different positions, since we're only showing the rankings on the.
And not for nothing. You haven't flipped yours. Yours have stayed. We could see them.
Yeah, I know. I didn't need to change them. I realized
Why
this
not?
with running backs.
But I can see it.
I don't know. That's all right.
I want to see your work.
I'll show you after the show. We're running out of time.
Deal. All right. So we got Kelsey 1, Waller 2, Kittle 3, Andrews 4, Hawkinson 5, Goddard 6, Fant 7, Pitts 8, Gesicki 9, Irv Smith 10, Logan Thomas 11, and Evan Ingram 12, tied with Robert Tonyan. That's an interesting one. Tonyan and Ingram tied at 12, which drops Hunter Henry to number 14. So who wants to discuss these tight ends first off?
If Joshua and myself cannot come up with a bathroom board bet for either Irv Smith, who else was it, Joshua?
Adam Troutman, Irv Smith, and Blake Jarwin are your guys.
Yes. Yeah. So
I'm trying to tell you that Jonnu. Jonnu is just an upside play for me, but Evan Ingram and where's my other guy? Hooper. Yeah, Hooper, not Ingram. Yeah.
Well, see, I have Ingram ranked high as well. We both have him at 9. Okay. But I'm willing to take the Ingram versus Irv Smith because I think that one's close enough.
Okay, and I was thinking Troutman versus Hooper.
Hold on, I'm typing here. And then Troutman versus who?
Hooper.
So I have Troutman at 19 and Hooper where? 25. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll take that.
And I have Hooper 11.
Sounds great.
I mean, I have Troutman higher than you do at 18, so let's not get too crazy here.
Well,
why don't you tell us why you have them ranked, where you have them ranked? get into this discussion. Well, Joshua, tell us about Hooper, man. I know he's your guy. You love Austin Hooper. Go on and sell him to the listener.
I think he just fits Baker and that offense, what they want to do. He is a great run blocker. He's always out there. I know he had some injury issue last year, plus he was first year on the team. So there was a lot of things working against him. But if you look at what he did when he was healthy in those games, especially towards the end of the season, he was becoming Baker's safety blanket. Just like he was Matt Ryan's safety blanket. When they get into a drive and they need that third down, and they need that first down on third down, he was their go-to guy. And that's exactly what he was for Matt Ryan. 2-minute drill, it was just every other pass to Austin Hooper. So I see that's what he's going to become again for Baker and that offense. That offense needs to run the ball to be successful, and Hooper is good for that, but also as an outlet. When the deep pass to Odell is just not there, or Odell is just not there.
All right, and then what do you guys think about Evan Ingram? Seems like about 4 of us so Rich has him at 8, 3 of us have him at 9. Those 3 are Josh, me, and Justin. And then Alex and Nate. Alex has him at 26. Nate has him at 25. And I think Matt's somewhere in the middle there. He has him at 14. Ben has him at 11. So, Alex, why are you fading Evan Ingram?
Honestly, I didn't even want to rank him, but I had to put him in there somewhere because he is a starting tight end in the league. I don't think there's not a big enough pie, and I don't think he's that good. He doesn't get separation. He doesn't get open very well. I just don't think he's ever going to be a thing, and everyone just keeps trying to force him to be something that he's not. Ever since that first season where Odell went out and he got all the volume and was he the tight end 1, or I want to say, or tight, he was up there. He hasn't done jack squat, and I just don't think that's going to change now.
I think Evan Ingram just isn't an alpha. I don't think the alpha role works for him. I think the 2 role is more suited for his game, where I don't think he's going to be getting number 1 attention from defenses and secondaries. So I actually think having a guy like Kenny Galladay over there, having a healthy Saquon Barkley back, helps Evan Ingram. Because if I'm getting him as my tight end 9, there's a huge drop off. Let's face it. Well, I think it's not. Let's face it. Everybody knows it. After the top guys, there's a huge drop off. So if my tight end, if I'm getting Evan Ingram a little later, and he's going to get me, say 5 receptions for 50 or 60 yards and then a touchdown here or there, I'm okay with that because the upside's there. He is an explosive guy, and I think every few games he's going to have an explosive touchdown, a big play. I just think the new offense, I think it's going to help him. And also Jason Witten, I'm sorry, not Jason Witten. It's a Freudian slip. Jason Garrett, I know what he does with tight ends. And I'm not saying Evan Ingram fits into that Jason Witten role, but, there's production for a guy like him in that Jason Garrett scheme. And now they're going into year 2. And Danny Dimes is expected to be a little better. They have that X outside with Kenny Galladay. So I think Jason Garrett can really run his offense. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, more to your point, too. If you're outside the top 5, 6 or so tight ends, you're probably either streaming tight ends or you're relying on touchdown-heavy dependence. So that's why I rank my rankings the way I do. It's all about opportunity for me. If I feel like there's not much of a challenge for shares for them to be on the field, I'm going to rank them a little bit higher, even than somebody that might be more talented that has and that's my argument with Austin Hooper. I'm not saying Austin Hooper isn't going to be a top 12 tight end. I'm just saying that with his competition there, I can't rely on him being that tight end that gets that touchdown for the touchdown dependency. So that's kind of my process after the top 5 or 6. It's if you have more opportunity, you're out there on the field more, you have a higher opportunity to potentially score a touchdown. So that's what I'm going after.
I want to bring up Robert Tonyan. Seems like Tonyan, I think I can speak for myself, but maybe I can speak for you guys. I think we're all a little hesitant. We're like, we want to be all in on Tonyan, but we're not yet all in on Tonyan. I think there's some uncertainty with Aaron Rodgers there, but we're all like walking for the most part, besides Rich, who hates Robert Tonyan. We're all walking the line of tight end 1 with Tonyan. There's a lot of us who have him at 13, which is 1 outside of tight end 1. So we're like, we love him or we like him, but we don't love him. And for myself, it's the Aaron Rodgers uncertainty. Aaron Rodgers, if I know he's there this year, I'm putting Tonyan top 10. I'm moving him up top 10. Anybody else? Joshua, what are your thoughts on Tonyan there? Because I see you have him at 12. So you have him right there at tight end 1.
He's very touchdown dependent. He is, even if he gets Rodgers back and everything goes well for him, it's still not even a ton of volume. So kind of like what Justin was just talking about, it's very touchdown dependent. Now it's very touchdown likely because if it's Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, depending on your scoring, especially it's a PPR tight end premium scoring, you are getting the largest benefit out of that kind of scoring from a high volume, large number of receptions, because that's where you're getting the bonus. You're not getting a bonus on touchdowns. And so that's why you want to focus on the higher volume guys if you're at a premium kind of scoring setting versus the touchdowns, which are already high variance.
All right, I like it. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, sorry, Coach. I got a bathroom bet for Justin because Blake Jarwin is his boy and Gronk is my boy. So I've got Gronk at 12. Justin's got him at 20. And I haven't ranked Jarwin, though I do like Jarwin, but straight up Gronk versus Jarwin.
Yep, it's on the board.
Gronk versus I think Justin's looking for Gesicki. Justin, what are your tell us about Gesicki? Are you high? Are you low? What are you thinking?
I'm low on Gesicki, and again, it's about the touchdown dependency. But I understand with Gesicki, he's a tall, well, mostly tall, athletic tight end. He looks taller going against those linebackers, but so I understand he is a red zone target. But they went out of their way to draft. I mean, when you have all these draft picks and you're in a rebuild mode like the Dolphins are, you're not going to spend a 3rd round pick on a tight end unless you intend to use him, even if he's just going to be on the field to block, talking about Hunter Long. So between that and the other weapons, they brought in Will Fuller, which, he's suspended first game, going to be hurt half the season. I get that. But they did bring in some weapons, and there's a lot going on around Tua that he's got to try to decide. I'm not completely sold on their run game to keep them in games the best way that they need to be. So I don't like the offense more so than I don't like the player. But obviously, I was just looking at the rankings, and I had him so much lower than everyone else. I kind of thought that maybe there was a bathroom board bet there.
There is, and it's with Ben. Ben's not here right now, so I can't necessarily speak for Ben. But Ben, if you're listening, you could hear this one. I think it should be Ben taking Gesicki because Ben has him at 7. He's the highest on him. And then Justin either taking Jarwin or taking Higbee. Justin's got Higbee at 10. Ben's got Higbee at 17. Justin's got Jarwin at 12. Ben's got Jarwin at 30. So I think one of those two, maybe both, if Ben's, feeling froggy, he could leak.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Higbee there just because I already have so many Blake Jarwin shares, Blake Jarwin bets.
You can't take it. You gotta propose it.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I propose it and he takes it. He's not here. This is on him.
Yeah, okay. I'm throwing it on the board. All right, guys. That does it, I think, for the rankings. All right, we're at about an hour and 18 minutes. I want to try to cut this at an hour and 20. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Again, go, Joshua, how can they find the redraft and the dynasty rankings on your website, fusionffb.com?
Go to fusionffb.com. On the menu is player ranks. Click on that, and that'll take you right to either, if you click on it, or the drop down. You get the options between the redraft, which we were looking at today, the dynasty, which we did last week, and I think my rookie ranks are there too. But yep.
All right, and Joshua is on the Twitter at generally_aware, and Fusion FFB is at Fusion FFB. Sorry, I was kind of slowing it down because I'm finishing writing these bathroom board bets, but now I'm up to the show notes. So you could find him there. And then the newest member of the Toyota Titles family, Alex, at AlexO_FF. Alex, how did it go your first time on the show, man? Did you dig it?
I had a great time, guys, and I look forward to many more. And check out my Dynasty Rankings article whenever that's going to come out. I'm not sure yet. when we're going to do that. But and many more articles to come. I'll definitely be digging in deep on all the team members. We'll and lots of players, lots of I don't have too many in line yet, but I'll be pumping them out once I start figuring it out. Okay.
Alex is going to be battling. He's the only writer right now, like writer specific, but he's going to be battling out for the lead writer title. It's going to be a clash.
Oh, I'm taking it. It's mine. And I would like to say for the Frankenstein, I got my Sasquatch painting back here.
Yes.
Just so everyone's aware.
Sasquatch. Is that your team name?
No, I'm actually Abominable Snowman, but
they're family.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those like felt paintings from like the 70s that my brother-in-law got for me for Christmas. It was really random, but I put it up there and I was like, oh, that's gonna be in my podcast now. So
that's a cool brother-in-law, man. He gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it, man. All right, awesome. Thanks for coming on, Matt at FF_Doormat, one half of the Down Under Dynasty podcast. Matt, it's been quite some time since we had you on. And it was a pleasure having you on, man.
Thanks, man. It's been too long. Hopefully, don't have to wait too long for the next one, but that was fun.
Yeah, man. And you were just on Joe Knows, right? Talking Patriots?
Just on Joe Knows. I think tomorrow me and Benny are going to pump out a Down Under Dynasty episode. So, thinking fast.
Making rounds.
I don't know what you guys are doing taking a week off, but yeah.
It's all Benny's fault. He's working too hard.
That's it. Well, he's working hard. We got Rich working hard, who you notice Rich isn't on here tonight. But I do want to let everybody know, go find so Justin's doing the team-by-team breakdowns, and then Joe's also doing team-by-team breakdowns of their draft class. So Justin's getting towards the tail end of the team, preview episodes. And then Joe's actually just starting the rookie draft recap. So Justin's doing a preview. Joe's doing a recap. We got it all going on there. Justin, what were you going to say?
You said I was getting towards the tail end of the breakdowns. I just said finally.
Yeah. So, but Matt was on there, and I think Matt was also on the Patriots breakdown, which happened like a month or so ago. So he's making
Joshua. So was Joshua. They're both Patriots fans.
Boom! Look at that. Two of these guys here. That's one half of the Patriots team breakdown there. So it's great. It's great that you guys were doing that, man. I was on the Cowboys breakdown. That was a great one. So go check that one out. Justin, it's good to have you back. I know you've been busy. You're going to stay busy. You got a lot going on, but man, it's been fun having you as my driver next to me this episode.
Right on. Appreciate you, bud.
All right, everybody, go check us out on the Twitter at Toilets and Titles. Find me on Twitter at Coach Sheps. We appreciate you. Throw us that 5-star review, like, and subscribe. Take care.